What's happening, folks? My name is Robbie and today we are watching TikTok. TikTok. You watch it, I watch it, just about everyone I know watches it. And if you're watching this video, you've probably come here from TikTok in the first place. I post on TikTok, have been doing so for a couple of years. And the things that I like to talk about is business, finance, investment, stock market, crypto, all of the things that I talk about on YouTube, I also talk about on TikTok. However, as is the case with any platform, TikTok does have a lot of financial advice on it that can be questionable sometimes. I always like to let everyone know that the videos I make aren't financial advice. I'm not trying to advise anyone on anything. I'm just letting them know what I do. Some people just tell you invest in this or invest in that, don't invest in this, and then they get it wrong and people are out of pocket because of that. That's why things like the FCA exist. But today, we're going to be reacting to some finance TikToks. I'm literally just going to open up TikTok. I'm going to type in finance and see what comes up. It'll be interesting to see what sort of advice TikTok is giving financially at the minute.
Poor people's problems is their habits. When I was broke, and if it was $50 in my bank account, all I knew what to do with the $50 was what? To spend it. If I had $500, guys, let's go out. It's on me. I had such a poor, broke mentality with money. Until that changed, nothing was going to change. So rather than trying to help these folks with the money you send to them that they don't know what to do with it, first thing we gotta do is teach them about how money works. But nobody wants to teach people how money works.
So this is true. I do agree with this. I quite like Patrick Bet-David's podcasts. So this is sort of the reason that I make these videos. Not the reaction ones, those are just entertaining. People seem to like them. The videos about property, stock market, personal finance. The reason I make these videos is because I don't think enough young people are financially literate. Young people who, let's say they make £1,000 in a month and they're buying £600 trainers. They leave themselves £400 for the rest of the month. It doesn't make any sense, and I think it's quite common, especially with things like buy now, pay later and credit cards. I think financial literacy is important, and I don't think it gets spoken about enough. So that's why I make these videos.
What do you do for a living?
Private equity.
How many years of experience do you have doing that?
Oh, this is Chip. This is the company that I invested in. I don't even follow them. I follow them. So you may have seen my previous video where I invested in a couple startups. Chip is one of the companies that I invested some money in. So that's pretty good. Let's see if the video is decent.
12.
How much do you make in a year?
Good question. About 250?
Are you happy with what you earn? Do you think you're paid fairly?
I do.
What salary do you think?
I mean, in most circumstances, if you make six figures, you're probably paid fairly, most likely.
You need to earn to live in London?
180.
180 grand to live in London. That is wild. Maybe this woman's a little bit detached from reality if she thinks that you need £180,000 per year to live in London, central London. Well, how central is central London actually? But like the people who work in central London, people need to work there and they don't all get paid 180 grand. All the people who work in restaurants and work for the local council and all the people who keep the place running, I doubt most of them make £180,000, but also I doubt they live in central London either. I don't know. 180 seems like a lot.
Biggest financial mistake you made in your life?
I sold an apartment. I bought it for $200,000. Sold it for $225,000. Today's $800,000.
What?
Oh no. This is a common thing. Maybe it's a problem that I have, but I don't like to sell anything. I'm a bit of a hoarder. So if I buy a stock, even if it's down 50%, I'm not selling it. I can't do it. Cannot bring myself to do it. Same with property. I don't have any intention of selling any property. I don't have any intention of selling stocks, watches, whiskey, any of the assets that I own. I don't want to sell them ever because of that. I don't want to sell a buy-to-let property I have just now for 135,000 and then when I want to retire, that same house would be worth 300,000, for example.
Why did you invest in real estate?
That's the only thing I know how to do. I got many properties. I live off that. It's easy because you buy the house or you buy the apartment, you rent it. That's it.
What's the one habit that you're working on in your life right now?
Getting a couple of more properties so I can be able to retire.
And how much money do you need to retire?
$20,000 a month.
What would you tell the young youth when it comes to real estate?
Start investing soon. As soon as you can buy a $20,000 land, property, whatever, but buy something.
Buy it.
20 grand in dollars as well is even cheaper than here, and everything's more expensive in America, or a lot of things are more expensive in America. You can't buy anything for 20 grand property and land wise, I wouldn't think, in America.
Now, right now.
So what do you do for a living?
I work in finance.
Finance.
That guy is not interested in being in this video at all.
And roughly how much money do you make working in finance?
Not gonna answer that.
Not an answer. Out of the money that you make, how much money do you save?
Not gonna answer that.
What is the point in even agreeing to be in the video?
What do you do with the money that you save? Do you invest it? Do you put it in your bank account?
Invested.
What advice would you give about finance?
Things will work out. Go have a beer on Friday and enjoy yourself.
Sounds good. Thank you.
It's like, that's not investment advice. It's not financial advice. It's completely unrelated to the video. Pointless. Why did the guy even agree to be in the video? You could see he didn't want to be there. Hello everyone. I'm just interrupting this video for a quick plug. If you're watching this video, you probably already know who I am, but for the benefit of those who don't, I'm Robbie and I'm a specialist finance broker. This means I help property investors, property developers, and small to medium business owners with funding on their projects. That's buy-to-let mortgages, bridging loans, buy-to-let mortgages for portfolios, development finance and commercial mortgages. If you're a property developer, investor or business owner, email me on this email address or send me a direct message on Instagram to find out how I can help you. Right, plugs over, back to the video.
What would you tell a 20-year-old who wants to become a millionaire? They ask you, Barbara, what's the fastest way to become a millionaire?
I'd say take the money out of the equation and focus on one thing only. Try to find something you do very, very well. And then practice the hell out of it until you become very, very, very good at it. And then you don't have competition. You're going to be the top of your heap, whatever that heap is. And money automatically comes with being the top.
What would you tell a 20?
Decent advice from, I mean, obviously it's going to be decent advice from Barbara Corcoran, who I think she's a billionaire. She's on Shark Tank, which is like America's version of Dragon's Den. But very valid point. If you're a good joiner, you'll make decent money. If you're the best joiner, you'll make a lot better money. If you're the best plumber in your area, or even if you just like to play FIFA, if you're the best person at FIFA, there is money to be made, but you need to be the best at what you're doing to make money in anything.
What is the best financial advice you've ever received?
Invest in assets, not liabilities.
What is the worst
No shit, obviously.
financial advice you've ever received?
The way to build wealth is saving your money.
So true. Third question. What is something you used to value that you don't anymore?
Material things.
That's fair.
What is something that you think people think is important when it comes to money, but you realize that's not really the right focus?
Net worth. Net worth is a crap indicator of real success.
I presume what he means by that is instead of focusing on net worth, you should be focusing on cash flow or income. Personally, I think you should focus on both. There's no point in making a lot of money every year and having a low net worth because you spend it all every year. But conversely, there is no point in having a high net worth and making no money because then you're just chipping away at your net worth every month that you need money to pay your expenses. I think it's probably a good idea to focus on both.
5 things I no longer spend my money on as a 28-year-old. 1. The latest iPhone each year. I only buy tech if my current tech dies or affects my productivity/workflow.
Can sort of agree with this. I don't immediately flock to buy the newest iPhone like I maybe used to a few years ago. I do buy a new one when my contract ends though. Like when my phone contract ends, I'll usually just trade this current phone in and get the new one, which is probably not the best because they all do the same thing, but at the end of the day, it's typically the same cost per month. So it's not like I'm spending more money on the new iPhone. I'm just spending the same amount as opposed to getting SIM only and keeping my iPhone. Probably a bad financial decision, but maybe I'll look into that actually. Maybe I'll change that.
Enhancements of each upgrade are always minimal. 2. Getting my nails done. This is
I never get my nails done, or very rarely.
such a costly, time-consuming exercise and most importantly, damaging to your nail health. It's natural nails moving forward for me. 3. Plastic water bottles.
I live in Scotland. Anyone who lives in Scotland and pays for bottled water to have at home, stupid. If you're out somewhere and you buy bottled water, fair enough. But if you're at home and you have bottled water in your fridge, stupid. We have good water here.
I take my stainless steel bottle with me everywhere I go. Not only is it better for the environment, it's cheaper and the water actually stays cool. 4. Physical books. I don't have the storage for these anymore.
This is also fair. I would say 70 books here. I've also got, I don't know if you can see them, I've got books on this shelf here and book up there. I've got another one somewhere in here, and it is a storage issue. However, I do like reading it in an actual book as opposed to like a Kindle or audiobooks. I do like a real physical book, but they do take up a lot of space.
I can take my Kindle with me in my small bags as well. It's also cheaper than buying a physical book. 5. Makeup. I'll only buy something if it's finished and only...
I don't buy makeup either, so that's good. Of the 5 things, I think I've done pretty well there.
I work in real estate investment banking.
And about how much money do you make per year?
I would say about 160, 180K.
And how
$180,000 a year. Based on current exchange rates, that's what, 130 or 40,000 pounds maybe a year? So he couldn't live in London, apparently.
How many years experience do you have?
1 year.
And what type of college degree or education did you get?
I went to an Ivy League school.
Where at?
Cornell University.
Okay. And last question, how many hours a week do you work?
I work probably 80 plus hours.
80 plus hours. So if he's making $180,000 a year, but he's working 80 plus hours, you could work a $90,000 per year job and work a regular amount of hours. It doesn't really make it doesn't really make much sense to me. You see that a lot with finance people in New York. They're working 80 hours a week for 150 grand when they could get a less intense job at 75 grand a year, and you're still making the same amount per hour for your time, and you actually have some time to yourself as well. I guess this guy doesn't have a family. He looks quite young. Well, kids and a wife or whatever. That's not sustainable in my eyes. It really isn't. Anyway, I think that will do it for TikToks today. A little bit different rather than just reacting to one full-length video, and there's an endless amount of videos to react to, which is good. So if you enjoyed this one, let me know in the comments. I'm not going to make this video run on forever. Thank you as always for watching. Take it easy.